Hello pilots and welcome back to another X-Wing flight video brought to you by Alderaan Gaming. Today we have round one of the recent Ambush at Alderaan tournament held at Entoyment in Poole. And joining me to go through this first round we have...
Andy Talbot.
Hey Andy, welcome back. It's been a long time since we've seen you on the channel.
It has been, mate. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Flying some spaceships, making some pew-pew noises. Let's do it.
Absolutely, that's what we're here for and that's what we enjoy. So, as I said, this is round one of the Ambush at Alderaan tournament. It was a 200-point extended list tournament recently held at Entoyment. So, got some great rounds coming up, but let's start with the first round. And the first list, we have Rich with the Scum. What does Rich have for us today?
Yeah, so Rich is flying Han Solo, pretty decked out. He's got Trick Shot, Kira, Lando's Millennium Falcon title, L337, the shield upgrade, and BT-1. There's also the autopilot drone. We've then got Fen Rao. He's just equipped with Fearless. And then we've got Genesis Red with Elusive and Ion torpedoes in the M3A Interceptor.
Nice, pretty good list there. Some quite standard ships that we normally see on Scum. Han and Fen are quite common. Genesis Red, that's an interesting one. We don't see that one very often. But let's have a look at Rich's opponent. And what we have there is Tim. He has 5 HMP droids. So that's going to be fun, seeing exactly where they're going to end up. I don't envy Rich having to try and plan ahead for that. But what we have is the DGS 047 with the repulsor lift stabilizers. We have 2 Bactoid drones with the repulsor lift stabilizers and ion missiles. 1 with the DRK-1 probe droids. And the final Bactoid, yellow, has the TV-94 tactical relay. So quite a lot. It looks like a lot going on there for those droids, but most of it is their configuration card, which I think if you're not taking the config on there, that is very surprising, to be honest.
Seems like a bit of droidception. So,
nice.
So what is that config card that you're speaking about then, Phil?
So that config card, it's a little bit of a wordy one, but again, like some of the things that are quite wordy, it's actually quite straightforward. So, repulsor lift stabilizers in the inactive mode. So, set up, equip this side face up. Reduce the difficulty of your straight maneuvers. After you fully execute a maneuver, you may flip this card. So, that would actually make your 5 and 4 straights white, your 3 straights blue, and your 1 and 2 straights stay blue because they can't get easier than that. Mm-hmm. Now, if you do flip that, this is where stuff does get crazy. So after you reveal a bank or turn maneuver, you must perform that maneuver as a side slip, then flip this card. After you fully execute a non-side slip maneuver, you may flip this card. So you don't have to flip it when it's inactive, but once you do, if you do a bank or a turn, you're side slipping and then you have to change it over. If you do a straight while it's active, you have the option, but it just means that the flexibility of where these ships can go is just crazy. Like 1 minute they're right in front of you, the next minute they've literally side slipped and they're to the side of you, and you're suddenly thinking, right, now how do I combat that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's very interesting. It's going to be quite good to see how often that actually gets utilized on there, to be honest.
Absolutely, yeah. It's not something that I've played against personally. Have you played against this type of list before with that side slip? Has it caught you out before?
I've not personally come up against the Bactoid drones, the HMPs, very often. I've seen them on the channel a couple of times, but actually flying against them has been a bit of a rarity. In fact, I've only just picked up my first HMP droid recently, having only just really started the Separatists this year.
Right.
But I like it. It's a really cool idea, and I'm really interested to see how it actually pans out.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
you can't really knock it, to be honest. It's just good fun in
Yeah,
general.
added variety as well, isn't it? It's nice when they add some new maneuvers and stuff in like that that just shakes things up a little bit.
Yeah, there's not many ships that really take a different aspect to it. I mean, you look at like the Star Viper with the using the bank templates for its barrel rolls,
Hmm.
and then you've got like Daredevil and Extreme Maneuvers that allow you to use the hard template for your boost. But that's really about it at the moment. So
Yeah.
to have something else in there that is able to do that is quite nice.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, how do you think that the scum list is gonna face up against this extra maneuverability from Droidception?
I think it's going to do fairly well, actually. Where you have Han Solo with that turret,
Mm.
he's got quite an advantage there because he's going to be the flying last alongside Fenn.
Hmm.
If he needs to, he's going to be able to move that turret. So he's
Yep.
going to be able to keep that gun on target. Ideally, he'll be hoping not to have to move the turret to get a focus or a target lock in there. But
Absolutely.
should he need to use it, it's there for him. So he's probably not
Yep.
going to worry too much about that. And again, Fen Rao is so super maneuverable, he will more than likely be able to get himself in a good position there.
Yeah.
What they do have to look out for, though, is that those droids have a 180-degree arc.
Yep.
So it's not just the usual 90 up the front. They've got that full front coverage. So that's something that Rich is going to have to be aware of to hopefully, try and see if he can get out of that. So that's where it's really
Absolutely.
tricky. And having 5 of them, that's some really good arc coverage that Tim's going to have there.
Yeah, massively. I think potentially breaking up that swarm is probably going to be key before he goes in.
Yeah.
Um,
And we see the side slip there already. So
yeah,
almost
there we
getting
go.
back to where he started.
Yeah, yeah, bait, bit of a little bit of a rope a dope, some bait and switch.
Yeah. I mean, Tim's already thrown out one of the probe droids there to get those early target locks out there, which is going to be quite key for the HMPs, especially with their baked-in ship ability of the networked aim.
Hmm.
Slightly different to other droids, but with them, they cannot spend their locks to reroll attack dice. However, while you perform an attack, you may reroll a number of attack dice up to the number of friendly locks on the defender. So,
Okay.
looking to get multiple locks in there to allow them to do multiple rerolls,
Yep.
which again, it's another crazy thing in there. It's just the droids have so many different tools that they've got available to them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one to see exactly what they do, because again, I've not really had too much exposure to the actual those droids specifically. I'm just looking at it, trying to figure out exactly how the scum list is going to break it up. Potentially, would you attempt to use the autopilot drone in a way as as a bomb in that it is to break that up and try to pick them off? I think you kind of want those droids to be focusing on Han to give Fen Rao that ability to get close without being shot. But I just, like you say, with that 180 arc and that maneuverability, I just don't see how that's necessarily going to happen. If they do start stacking up on those tokens, that ability from Genesis Reds to kind of mirror those abilities on those ships is probably going to be quite key, to be honest with you.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that it's one of those things with Scum. If ever I'm going up against Scum and Fen Rao is in the list, he's normally one of my first targets because A, he's worth a lot of points for a 4-hull ship.
Absolutely.
B, he is very scary. I mean, there are myths and legends written about this ship and what it could do. And in fact, if you look at the game we put up last week with Fen Rao on 1 health and what that ship and that pilot in particular can do when it's on 1 health, it's absolutely crazy. So
Ridiculous.
yeah, if you get a chance, guys, go and watch that. It was a cracking game with Sam and Quinn there. But normally I would say, yeah, go for Fen Rao. Han Solo as well, with the build he's got with Kira and Trickshot, that is going to be tricky. Excuse the pun there, obviously with Trickshot in there. But it's definitely something that you're going to have to be aware of. But if that autopilot drone stacks up into the Falcon, that adds a level of wariness, because I believe that is 1 charge left on that. So that is a primed and ready to explode bomb there.
Okay.
So you've got to be a bit wary of that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I think going after either of those ships is going to be worthwhile for either of them. So, I mean, I can't remember the exact points, but I think Fen and Han are probably quite similar points, with Fen probably being slightly more expensive because that Scum Falcon is so cheap.
67 in total for that. I mean, with the autopilot drone on top, even, it's still only, what's that, 79?
So, Fen would be
71.
Yeah. So, yeah, the Scum Falcon is just so cheap. It is ridiculous, but it's also really good. But yeah, I mean, taking out either of those two early isn't going to be a bad thing. And there we see one of the Dark One probe droids actually allowing that early target lock from across the board. So possibly we're seeing the setup for Han Solo being the initial target.
Yeah. Interesting.
So I think that's probably the right thing to do. It's the slower ship. It's going to be easier to catch. Maybe save Fen for later when you've got that 180 arc, just to really try and pin him down.
Yeah, interesting. I don't know. Maybe, like, again, not being somebody that's super well versed in it, I maybe would have gone for Fen. Try to get as many shots at range at him so he doesn't get those additional benefits early on, and try to get him down. I think they'd want to. I think they want you to shoot at Han so that Fen can get in, unharmed at range 1, and get that positioning and get that damage up. But I can see why, like you say, slower ship, more guaranteed potential damage there, less evade dice at range if he wants to push up on it now, so he can get that damage in early. But I mean, you've got the shield upgrade on there, so what's that? You're looking at 12 points of damage.
Yeah.
To get through that, you're not getting through that in a single turn.
No, even with 5 droids there, everything going through, that's 10 at most. So
yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it looked like an attempt for a lock on Fen, but he was still outside of range 3 of that probe droid. So
fair enough.
Taking the lock on hard, still a good idea. You've got 2 locks there. You've got some calculates down. Looks like we're going to see a side slip coming in. So again, they're just really concentrating down at that bottom board edge there.
KG start, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to rush in, not against Fen. No. You do want, if you can sort of hold back and try and bait Fen in, then that is going to be definitely advantageous to you. Again, with any ace, you want to try and get them sort of into a corner. And looks like with no shots going to be coming back to the droids, that Rich is going to see if he can take out those probe droids.
Makes sense.
Which you can do. So they are a viable target. And if he can take them out, that stops the advantage of the long-range locks in there.
So how does it work to target those probe droids then?
So you target it just like you would a normal ship. So
Okay.
you get range bonuses, etc. So they have 3 defense, I believe. I don't actually have the info for it to hand, but I believe they have 3 hull and 3 defense dice. So take a little bit to take them out, but again, they can't actually attack. So
Yeah.
it's just more a case of denying those locks later on, which again
Yeah,
is a
absolutely.
sensible option. They also can't be reloaded like you would other munitions. So once those 2 charges are gone, they're
Yeah,
the only 2 you get.
that makes sense. So how does things like how do they interact with obstacles in the other ships in terms of bumping and their
They can
ability?
they completely ignore obstacles of the ships, so there's no issues there. So if, for instance, red here
Yep.
was to do a 3 and land under the Falcon, there wouldn't be any issue there.
Yep. Okay.
Looks like going the other way, but yeah, it would be absolutely fine there.
Okay. Interesting. And how does it work in terms of arcs? Has it just got a 360 arc in terms of its abilities, or does it have to be in arc to use it?
So it's got a 360 arc. It's literally measured from anywhere around there. So the only thing is it can only move. It moves in either one of the from the 5 points that you can see there on the sides of it, and it's actually it's a 2, not a 3. So it can do a 2 bank or a 2 straight. As you see, it's landed on the gas cloud. No negative effects there for it. So obviously, it can't take actions.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally just there to allow those HMPs to get the
Target locks.
target. Oh, that's
Oh.
oh,
Oh no.
early doors off the board there.
Oh no.
Oof, that's where side slipping gets tricky because it's obviously not a move you're going to be very used to. And unfortunately, narrowest of margins there, that is a yellow off the board, which means that's the tactical relay of TV94 gone as well, which is a bit of a shame because that would have allowed to add additional hits if the defender was in the bullseye by spending calculates, but it means less that has to be worried about there for Rich. So a nice cheeky 42 points to start with, and he hasn't got at them yet. So
All right. Without even rolling the dice.
not gonna lie, that's the kind of things that you're definitely gonna say okay to.
You're not arguing against it in a tournament, are you?
No. I mean, I know what it's like to fly a ship off the board accidentally. You're there kicking yourself a little bit, and you're just like, oh my god, I'm so stupid. But I think the best thing you got to do is just sort of go, right, it's happened, learn from it, pick yourself up, and then just move on for the next round.
Absolutely. You're just giving yourself an underdog story, or you're flexing. You're basically, I don't need that shit.
Yeah, I only need
I'll win without it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, sometimes, you know what, it can be quite nice to get a mistake like that out of the way early in a tournament, because then it's done and you don't have to worry about it.
Oh, absolutely. It's all about practice with these maneuvers, isn't it? Being able to kind of eyeball all the standard maneuvers takes time, let alone all the new maneuvers and stuff that will be added into the game, like that side slip. So yeah,
absolutely. And again, one of the things you've got to remember, this is the first tournament that we were able to run down at Entoyment this year. Normally we'd have had 3 or 4 by this point, but with the various lockdowns, it's been obviously quite a challenge. So some of the players that we hadn't really had much chance to play in person like this. They've been playing on TTS, which is a fantastic place to play, but it does have its different challenges in the perspective and trying to work things out like that. It's a little bit trickier, but again, it is what it is. So it does make it a little bit more challenging there. But again, still got some good tools there. Still got the ion missiles to help. So if you can get some of those off, maybe try and ion walk Han Solo towards a difficult board edge or in front of some guns, it might work for him. So
Absolutely.
looks like we're gonna try and get rid of that probe droid. So 4 dice there for the gas cloud. There we go. Ooh, that's not too bad. So 2 hits, 2 crits. So gas cloud allowing you to turn 1 blank to a evade, and that is that probe droid gone.
One hull, no shield.
I believe it's 2 hull, no shield. I think
2 hull, no shield. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But that's that one gone, and 2 hits on red. And red is gone. Red took previous damage there from Fen earlier. So there we go, getting some dice out there for Rich. No points scored for the probe droids at this point. If he is able to take out orange, that's when he'll get the points for them.
That's fair enough. It's interesting that you don't get any points for those, though, right?
Yes and no. I'd say the reason that you obviously don't is because obviously the ship that has them has paid the points for them. So you will, when you take that ship out, that's when you'll get the points for them. I mean, they're not actually out there causing any damage, so it's not. Yeah, I kind of see what you mean, but also with it being a 5-point upgrade, it'd just be really annoying to go, right, well, there's 2.5 points for one.
Oh, yeah?
2.5 points for the other. And then you'd have to work out, right, when I take that ship out, that's 5 points less for that ship if I haven't taken out those.
Yes. It's loads more admin, don't get me wrong. It'd just be interesting to see whether or not that could be used as a different, almost like a tiebreaker mechanic, right?
Yeah, that would be quite an interesting one.
But then I suppose you probably would lean away from taking them, right? Because if that does come down to the case, there's probably not very many other factions and other upgrades that would then level it out so that they could work the tiebreaker evenly to each side. So
there's not many things out there like that that will provide that sort of thing. I think the closest you sort of have to that is like the autopilot drone and the Nashtar pup for the Houndstooth, where they can jettison out, but again, they have attack dice. They actually are able to score points. So I think it's kept nice and neat and clean, and definitely reduces the admin side, because although there might not be a huge amount of admin that goes involved in this, anything that can help it is good.
Oh yeah, you don't want that creeping up, dear. But okay, interesting.
Fen very much. He is now the one that is playing that cagey game, really trying to see where those HMPs go.
Yeah.
I think he's definitely wanting to see which one starts taking the damage, then get in like a little viper and finish them off. I like it though. Like normally you see Fen being quite aggressive, but that little hold-up play from him, not bad at all.
Yeah, he's safe. I think again, you're wanting those ships to shoot at and get drawn into the Falcon. I think before he kind of pounces a little bit more,
and then sneak in around the back.
The Falcon could afford to take a round of shots, particularly now there's 4.
Definitely.
And I think that's the right play. He's positioned the Falcon very well. To try to get as many shots through obstacles as possible and make the most out of those that trick shot as well as the Corellian Kid ability.
Yeah. And speaking of obstacles, those HMPs are going to have a bit of a fun time with this obstacle here. I can imagine that they are all going to end up going over that. So that means that they will be definitely keeping their stress on there. So let's have a look there. So that's definitely the first one going over. Will they take damage though? That's the question. Oh, that's Still a very aggressive move there. Now, that is blue, so it removes the original stress, but regaining the stress for going over the debris.
Oh, all good.
Oh. I'm not
very aggressive.
Yeah. I'm not sure if they should be. My bad. The 5 forward isn't blue, it's white, so it only reduces it by 1, so they will still be double stressed. So that means that Han is going to love that with BT1 involved.
Absolutely.
So that is a nice tasty position for him to be in. Looks like orange managed to just avoid that. Red is going straight over that.
Wow. Yeah, I think you've probably got a favour at this point, shooting one of those two at the back to guarantee shooting through there. Both double stressed. BT1's ability to change them to crits. Yeah. Well, extra dice, more crits. Yes, please. Yeah, Thank you very much.
Well, we've still got Han to move, so it'll be interesting to see if Han does try and utilise that obstacle. I don't think that Rich was going to be anticipating such a fast manoeuvre from those HMPs. I mean, I think that's very brave. I mean, it's going to be powerful if it's going to get him into range 1 if Han has just gone forward. So, although one of them probably going to take quite a pounding, they've got the opportunity to get some good damage in now on Han.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if Han thought that they were going to be so aggressive when he goes to turn in.
Yeah. I mean, especially at the moment, his arc is left to right, so
yeah.
Let's have a look. Oh, he's got straight out, so maybe...
Oh,
the K-turn.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, I think maybe trying to slow roll it a little bit there to like wait for them to come in and then turn back in, but he's now got a bit of a face-off there, so looking like going for green, so 2 stress on green, so BT1 has the option to trigger twice there, and I think that was range 1 as well.
Yeah, certainly looked like it.
So just remembering to roll in the dice box there. Oh, that's not bad. That's
oh, hello BT1.
Hello. Yes, hitting 2 crits there. So that could be all the shields down on green.
Oh.
That is shields down on green
It
there.
is.
So that is a pretty good shot. If you managed to get that last hit in, that would have drawn a crit through, but not too bad. Now we just need to see how much damage Han is going to take in return here. So it looks like we're going for red first. Hit crit, not bad. Just the 1 shield, and it's going to be taking that on the autopilot drone whilst it's still docked.
Because why not?
Yeah, why not? I mean, it's there to use. I sometimes forget about the fact that you can do that as well, and that in itself is just...
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just rude.
Do you think at this point he plans to... Can you drop the drone before you move, or do you have to move and then attach?
Drop it in the engagement phase, I believe. I've very rarely used it, not the engagement phase, in the activation phase, but let's have a quick look. Yes, at the so during the system phase, if you're not docked at the end, lose a charge. At the end of the activation phase, if you have 0 charges, you are destroyed. So yeah, I believe you drop it and you undock in the system phase.
Okay.
So yeah, I imagine we'll be seeing that coming out, and that was another shield on the autopilot drone and 1 on Han as well there. So 6 points for Tim there.
Clawing it back.
Ooh, clawing it back. There's 2 more shields down. It's those little bits of damage going through that don't feel so bad.
Yeah,
And then you look
exactly.
down and suddenly go, oh no, I've got so many cards on my ship already.
Oh yeah, I mean let's face it, kind of if Han ends up with no shields after this, you're going to feel a lot less confident rolling up against those 4 in a similar position next turn where crits really mean something.
I mean, what Richie's got to look out for is the fact that their side slip is on for next turn. So he's got to be aware that they are more than likely doing a 3 hard side slip to the right. I doubt they would do it to the left and go in front because that would mean them going over the obstacle. But
Absolutely.
I do reckon that those 4 are going. Any of them that are doing the side slip are going to try and get in behind Han.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Which would be the absolute perfect spot.
Han having a stress as well is probably a bit of a concern because he's only really got was it straights that are blue? Yeah, 1, 2, and 3 straight is blue, and then you've got a couple of 1 banks. So not an awful lot of choice there if he wants to get out of dodge and move his turret. So you might need to just book it for a turn.
Yeah, I think we might see Fen and Genesis Red starting to come in a bit quicker now. So
yeah,
let's have a look. And so we've got 1 side slip.
There we go.
Oh, no, missing the system. I think they were just debating about system phase, but I think Rich is holding off on that. So we've got 2 side slip from blue. So watching these HMPs is making me really want to actually get my HMP out and give it a go because they do look so fun.
Absolutely.
We've got a 2 from green, so getting nice and snug with the Falcon there. Oh, not bad. That is right up there. And that's a nice position because the Falcon will more than likely be doing a straight maneuver, as you said.
Yeah.
Even I can imagine more than likely there might be a boost to the left to try and utilize that rock, but also get that turret back round because I don't think Richard just want to rotate the turret there. So probably going to see a boost.
Yeah, agreed.
And looks like finally getting rid of some of those stress. The only one that wasn't double stress taking to calculate there. Genesis Red looking like coming now to the party. Deciding it wants to have a bit of fun there.
Interesting to see what Fen does now. I think he's really got to get involved. You've got to start using those 71 points to start dishing out a little bit of damage, I think.
Yeah. Again, that 180 arc that those HMPs have make it that much trickier for Fen because there's obviously he likes to be either right in your face or right at the side of you, just causing you 1 bank instead.
It's not a bad shout to bump, is it?
Yeah, not bad shout. So that does mean more than likely next turn you're going to get some bumps from those HMPs. So
absolutely.
So Rich knows exactly where some of them are going to be next turn. And it gives him a really nice range 1 while some of them are stressed. Oh. And we do get a boost come in there. Okay.
Interesting. Through some obstacles.
Yeah, so that obstacle is locked. So Trickshot and Kira going to be getting all the benefits and none of the downside. That is...
Gotta love it.
That is absolutely spot on for him. Look at that, 5 dice coming in there.
I think this is probably going to
Ooh.
go against green, try and finish that off.
Yeah, didn't do too well though. Only one crit out of that. It does go through though, so that's not bad.
What is it?
And that crit is a disabled power regulator. That's actually really good. So before you engage, gain 1 ion token. After you execute ion maneuver, repair this card. So
Oh, wow.
green is doing a 1 forward next round. So yeah, that's not too bad. That starts to break up that formation a little bit there. And now just checking for whether all of them are going to be affected by the obstacle. Looks like red is going to have an unobstructed shot, range 2 by the look of it.
Yeah.
So definitely the best shot you've got there. So go for that early. And we don't have the target lock there because it is on Genesis red.
Oh, no.
Oh, and evaded. Oh, correction. Obviously, I forgot about the networked calculation. So he does get to reroll because of the friendly target locks.
Ah, okay.
Again, those target locks work differently on the HMPs.
Right,
So
okay.
I can imagine if I don't correct myself, it'll be down in the comments with people telling me how I've done it wrong.
Welcome to the internet.
To be honest, I actually don't mind. Most of the guys that comment, they're actually really useful comments. So
that's good.
Again, there's so many things to know for all the different factions. It's difficult to know it all.
Of course.
So, and I don't exactly want to be there like, all right, guys, let me just check it up and then come back. But yeah. Oh, and that's the final shield down on Han now. And just sneaking a range 2 through the obstacle. Yeah, it's nice keeping them all together, being able to actually focus fire like that. It's definitely worth it, especially with those target locks that they're allowing them to be up to 3 rerolls there.
Oh.
Nice hit crit.
Oh no.
Oh. And that, I'm sure, was a crit. That should have been a crit that went through there.
It should have been.
Just put down as a hit there, unfortunately. So, again, first game of the day. Mistakes are going to be made, so.
No big deal, is it?
No.
See how the rest of this shooting phase goes.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Take
Got
that.
the evades there, yeah. Definitely take that.
Take that.
So that's that. So Han is now down into Hull. So we'll see how much more damage is going to come in there if those HMPs decide to try and stick with their green who is ionized or not, or just leave him on his own and just try and continue on at the Falcon. But whilst we're waiting for Dars, a good time to let everyone know, obviously, we do have a Patreon. So if you like what we are doing on the channel and want to support us, the link for that is in the description below. Patreon levels start from £2, get you a shout out on the channel. If you do go for the higher options, you'll get your name in the credits every video. We will be putting up bonus content, sneak previews of upcoming content as well on our Patreon. So if you do want to support the channel, click that link down below to find out more. Now, I know obviously you said it's been a while since you've had a chance to play, but what would your thoughts be now for the Scum side? What would you be thinking to do next?
So you know where green's going to be, and I think you need to start using Fen a bit. So Fen needs to get down, I think, to the other side of the boards, straightforward, and then bank in and start making use of him. I like the detaching of the the drone there again, because you just know where green is going to be. And I don't know, I think you can anticipate the other gunships kind of going straight after the Falcon still at this point. I don't really know what I'll do with the Falcon, to be perfectly honest with you. Maybe still leave them as bait, start out with pincer movement a little bit with Genesis Reds, Fen Rao. Yeah, it's difficult because I don't know. Like I'm struggling in my head to picture exactly, obviously apart from green,
Yeah.
where these gunships are gonna end up. So
they don't have a side slip available to them, so
fine.
it'll be a normal turn if they want to do it.
Yeah.
If they've anticipated that drone coming out, then they've probably does think, "Oh, I'm not sure if they've anticipated it," because that's gonna. Orange is definitely getting caught there. But again, they've got a really good wide arc, so they're probably going to try and keep Han in their arc.
Yeah.
Or potentially if Genesis is getting involved. There we go. There's a 1-4 just avoiding the bump, but I'm really sorry, but he's taken a crit. That's going to be a shield down there. That's going to be quite painful.
Oops.
And what is Red doing? I'd assume Red's going to follow Orange down.
Mm-hmm.
And start trying to react to Fen getting a bit nippy at the corners there.
Yeah, I mean, I think Fen will be all right to engage. I think at this point you can see maybe the combination of Fen and Han and getting Genesis Red involved. You can start picking apart one of these gunships a turn, and then Fen's not going to be facing kind of 2 or 3 shots each time that he's not going to want to. Interesting there.
Genesis Red faking out there. Really faking out. So, interesting. I mean, I could understand obviously wanting to stay a little bit further back to avoid that autopilot drone. But it's an interesting one there. I'm actually surprised by that.
Maybe I'm just too gung-ho. Rich knows his list better than I do, so
yeah.
leave it to him.
I mean, at the moment, he has got a good points advantage, 62-6, with just under 34 minutes to go. So there is an advantage there. Obviously, playing in a tournament, there's a slightly different feel to it than if you're playing in a casual game. All those points really do matter for your MOV at the end of the day. Oh, but we are seeing Fen starting to get in there. Excellent. He is definitely getting right in there. He's within the arcs. It's just as to whether he's within range. Stress. And looks like we have damage going through all around. Crit on green. And that crit is a console fire.
Oh.
So before you engage, roll 1 attack dice. On a hit, suffer 1 damage. Fenrir looking for that range 3, probably
obscured, yeah.
Obscured, just outside of range 2. So it looks like it's going to be a range 3 on red there. So probably the least dice you'll see Fen ever roll.
Get some cheeky damage through.
Oh, that's 1 damage going through. So you won't say no to that.
No, chipping away.
See how much is coming back through to him, though. Han has no shot because his arc is left to right. And Genesis has no shot because Genesis hasn't got anywhere near anything to shoot yet. And we're going to have a range 3 go at Han there. Again, yeah. I think it's sensible you started the damage there, but I don't know. I think I would have been tempted to get three shots in on Fen. But you've got the rerolls with the time block there.
Yeah, I mean, but do you... What, so he's got 3 evades, range 3 obscured.
Yeah, so 5 evades, yeah. Kind kind of see where you're coming from there. But I mean, we've seen it before where more dice just means a bigger fail.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've seen 6 green dice rolled and 0. A lot of damage going through there.
Yeah.
So
That's
that's
law, isn't it?
1 hit on Fen, laughs it off. And spending the calculate, why not? And he takes it.
Oh, wow.
He takes a damage on Fen.
Oh, Fen.
See, lots of dice doesn't mean good times for anybody.
Oh, Fen.
Now, Green should have rolled a dice there, even though he wasn't able to actually shoot. He still technically classes as having engaged. I think Tim's just about to roll it there.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, the dice cam doesn't seem to have picked that up, but no cards, so no damage. So yeah, Fen is right in the mix there.
Yep.
Now, the Falcon is obviously pulling away quite heavily.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be tempted to turn all in at Fen now. Although they've got their side slips out, which is not ideal. Because it looks like red is got the repulsors active. Orange and green are inactive, and I can't see what blue has got, but I'd be tempted just to roll it on Fen and see if you can catch him, because I don't think you'd be able to get out of all of those arcs with the 180.
No, you're right. Might not be a bad shout to pin him in the corner.
Yeah. And now that you've drawn blood.
Yeah, it's where more points are available, right?
Yeah.
But then if he's if you catch him and he's at range 1, then he's still pretty. He's rolling how many dice at range 1 with old
range 1? It'll be 4
Fearless,
dice.
4 dice.
Yeah. So I will point out that the autopilot drone has obviously gone. So Tim is actually on 46 points. It's just on the overlay, it hasn't been clicked over yet. So Tim does actually have the full points for the autopilot drone. Let's have a look.
Where are we going?
1 forward from green. And he's getting ready for a side slip and clearing that console fire. Good shout. Don't want to be giving away damage there.
Definitely not.
Side slip from blue just fits in. So getting an early setup there to try and trap Fen in.
Yeah, I think that it just gives him a lot of options, right? With that 180 arc, the Falcon's not getting. I mean, the Falcon's not going to be a cause for concern at range. If the Interceptor decides to turn in, then he's still in arc, and you're right. Fen's kind of primed to start attacking this turn, so he's got that option as well.
Yeah, I just think it would have been nice, and obviously Tim wasn't to know where Fen was at that point, but I think it would have been nice to have had red, orange, and blue all hard turning down to put in a really good set of arcs in for Fen. And that's a hit, so no damage there on red from landing on the debris. So he's been doing all right there. Generally not taking much damage on those obstacles. Genesis Red slowly coming in.
I feel like that's the furthest up the board he's been.
Yeah. I mean, Fen's only really just managed to get anywhere. There we go. Get a long range target lock there. Let's see, where is Han going? He's just retreating back to his board edge. He's done what he came to do: score some points, drop a bomb, get out. I mean, at the moment, he's the one that's essentially leaking the points there, but
Absolutely.
again, Fen is in an interesting position because I'm not sure if Fen is, well, Fen's still to move, but at the moment, there's no arc. Let's see where he ends up. Oh, well, Fen definitely has no arc on anything at the moment. I mean,
Where's he going?
that's interesting. That's really interesting, actually. I'm quite surprised by that.
I mean, I haven't played X-Wing in a while, but I'm very confused at that one.
Yeah, it's not the maneuver I would have anticipated.
No, interesting.
So just seeing if Genesis.
Yeah.
Just double checking if it's actually obstructed there. And Judge coming in to check it.
I wonder who that is.
Don't know. Some idiot. But yeah, so that was called as obstructed there.
I'm not sure I agree with the judge on that, to be honest.
Well, take it up with him another time. So, spending the target lock just to hit crits, laughing it off with the gas cloud as well.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely safe.
That's a chance. Just I just keep looking at Fen at the moment. I can't figure it out. I'm like, there's I'm missing something. I know I'm missing something. Next turn, there's just going to be a ridiculous set of maneuvers that I just couldn't see.
I mean, what's going to make it even harder for Fen is that his positioning now is just going to make it so tricky for his next moves. He's basically got a one hard that way or a one hard that way. He doesn't have a lot of outs there. And now, obviously, I know his dial is pretty good, but even I would be a bit concerned by that.
Yeah. He hasn't got a short K turn, so that's not going to fit.
No. So it's gonna be the too hard would be too much. We'd see another ship going off the board at that point. I reckon.
Talon.
No.
Flip up. No.
No, that will go off. I anticipate a one hard boost.
Yeah.
And I reckon more than likely back towards his own board edge because those like red and blue are coming in. They're just coming down to try and pin him. I reckon they're going to bank in.
Yeah, agreed.
And I also think that an ideal move would be a 2-bank side slip to here, giving you all of this.
Yeah, just block
coverage.
It off. Yeah.
And that would just be absolutely ideal.
Oh,
I think the too hard's a bit too much. I think the too hard is a little bit too much. But again, I like what he's trying to do there.
Mm.
I mean, if Fen goes the... Okay.
Oh.
Going for the block.
Yeah.
That is... extreme. I don't know if Fen can get out of that. It's really hard to call. But that's a good move from Red there.
I don't think he can.
Yeah, I think the one hard will fit, But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think he's going to be able to boost past. So that's...
Interesting.
Yeah. And again, I like where blue and red have gone. And green just coming around the side, hoping to maybe catch Han at the edge of its 180 arc. Flipping the dial over just before finishing off there. There we go. Let's see, where's Genesis go? Bye, Genesis. I think there's like a really... I don't know if we can't see it under the Out of Arc logo there. I think there must be something in that corner that's really bugging people. That corner is dangerous, guys. Watch out.
That's it.
It's just... I mean, you look at the points, and Richard is ahead at the moment, so you can't exactly knock that.
Oh no, definitely not.
But it's interesting.
It won't be if Fen gets trapped there, though, will it?
Oh yeah, that's where it's tricky. I'm really curious as to what happens with Fen.
You can take green out with Han though.
I'm not quite sure. It might be obstructed. It's hard to tell. Oh, so there's the one.
I think it would be closest point.
Yeah. Oh.
I don't see how he's getting out of that.
That boost is going to be tricky.
Barrel roll in front and just take it to survive.
No, I don't think you could quite fit the barrel roll in.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be... I mean, he gets the arc, so he is going to have more dice than you can shake a stick at.
Still 6 on there, isn't there? They'll move first, though.
Yeah. Saving that focus for defense, I think that is a good idea. So that is 1 damage going through. Or 1 shield down even. That is obstructed up there, so Han could be taking out green right now. Let's see. With trick shot on. Not like that, he's not.
Oh, no.
That's just the one, so... And there's the one he needs to save it. But I don't think green's going to have a shot.
No, I don't think so either.
Genesis, again, is going to shoot at whatever's annoying him in that corner.
Genesis has done a Fen and just pointed and put himself in the corner.
Yeah. Looks like range 3, unobstructed, 1 hit. Loves it.
Don't mind me.
Because of DGS 047, moving that target lock over to Fen after attacking. Another range 3 there from blue. See if you can get that spend on... Oh, yeah, there's the focus spend. That's brilliant, because now we have orange to shoot. And there is a target lock there, so can re-roll that last one. So 2 hits. Oh, Fen gets out of it. Oh. So Fen was a bit lucky there, I think. And
I think he's lucky to not have taken half points for Fen there.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, I think Richard's going to be very happy with how that actually panned out, but I think even if he'd have lost half points on Fen, I think at that point it would have still been a case of, I'll accept that, because Fen's still there. But that was definitely the riskiest moment there of the game for Rich. I mean, now he's able just to get Fen out of there. Fen is just going to book it, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, red and blue are going to be side slipping to their right as the ship left to try and get around behind, and I think orange is going to be sort of lost a little bit for the foreseeable.
Do they always have to slip arcs forward, or can they slip arced backwards?
I believe they have to go forwards.
Okay. Because otherwise you could see them going right and backwards to open up the arc for where Fen is going.
Yeah. I believe they still have to go forwards. So they can't go backwards with it, which would be fun.
Maybe a bit much though, right?
Maybe a bit much. It's like it's not quite the barrel roll that you get on the Starlight, which you can do forwards or back. But yeah, I mean, you look at that art coverage they've got there as well. So that's still that's covering all the way there.
Oh yeah.
And obviously these guys have got all the way around there. So you've got quite good art coverage there to
now look where greens come in as well.
Oh yeah. That pincer is on there. That pincer is on. So looks like Genesis going for a target lock, which means that it's for later on, really. So we definitely know that Green has a shot on Genesis in a bit. Also gets far enough away from Han so that probably not going to get shot by him. Maybe. No, I think that might be just outside of range 3 there.
Yeah, I'd say so.
So Fen is going to be doing a hard turn. Probably 2? 3 hard. And maybe a barrel roll focus backwards there to get some decent shots on Orange, and then get out of Orange's firing arc as well.
Yeah.
Because he definitely doesn't want to boost, because that will put him in potentially 4 firing arcs. But if he barrel rolls backwards, he gets a shot as well at range 1.
Definitely puts him in range of blue at the back, though. So it depends whether or not he wants to take more shots.
It does. But if you're not getting the damage output as well, that's where it's going to fall down. Going for that boost, okay. So looking like it's trying to get red and blue out of arc.
Yeah, getting out of dodge.
Okay. Yeah, very interesting. Also looking at what those ships are going to do, red and blue are definitely doing a straight next turn. Oh, does catch range 3 by the look of it. That was close. Just a crit. Spending that calculate, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to be getting another crit though. He's managed to get rid of the other 2.
He's been rebuilding that ship pretty much, isn't he, the entire game?
So it does keep blue out of arc. Red is still in, but it is now obstructed. So hit crits. Oh, that's
so many blanks there.
Like, you're just counting all the blanks, and then suddenly you see the evade, you're like, oh, thank God. That was definitely a clutch moment. One re-roll there. Nothing.
Not what you want.
Oh, is Fen getting out of this again? Cheeky. Oh.
He's going to want to do 1 point of damage.
Oh, come on. Wow. Natties. That is just... God, I hate Fen. Like, he's just...
You love to hate him.
He's so good. Like, I love flying him, but when you're flying against him, he is just... He's top tier. He's just such a good pilot. And you're just like, can you please calm it down just a little bit there? Right.
Yes, that was it. So, do you think we're playing for time now?
A little bit.
So
I think
you
Fenn
plan on
is.
trying to chip green away and play for time.
Yeah,
Ignore the others at this point.
I think Han's going to come in and obviously try and finish off green.
Hmm.
Genesis possibly also looking to do the same, but going to want to be wary of orange and green because they're side slipping.
Mm.
Blue and red are probably just going to try and get up as quickly as possible, just try and get their guns in. I mean, it's quite impressive when you look at it. Green is the one on Tim's side that has gone the furthest around the board. All the others have been very much, they've stayed in that sort of early third there.
Hmm.
Okay, interesting side slip going backwards there. Like facing back towards his own board edge.
Is that thinking that he's trying to anticipate Han coming down into the middle of the board a little bit harder?
Maybe trying to get set up for later to throw
Yeah.
it towards Han. Yeah, looks like the intention now is to.
I think that might be his best target for points as well, to be fair.
Yeah.
Just with the
Ooh,
interesting. Okay.
interesting. Maybe trying to catch Fenn if Fenn goes straight, or just catch Genesis if Genesis comes in like on a small maneuver.
Yeah. I think it's reasonably good anticipation to think that the Falcon would have went in the middle for green, so try and do the whole bait and switch there. But that interceptor that has now just turned in.
He's got a nice tasty shot there.
Yeah, not looking fantastic there.
And I think Fenn, that looks like a 2 bank, so he's going to get past.
Oh yeah.
And then he's probably just going to boost off and get away.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Fenn's run the risk now. He hasn't really had much reward for his time. He's just been an expensive piece that's done.
Yeah.
Not much.
He's taken some shields off, but he's not really done an awful lot. But then
Yeah.
he has been a big old distraction. He has taken a hell of a lot of attention and firepower and come away without giving away any points.
Oh yeah, I mean it's ridiculous how lucky Fenn has been there.
Mm.
So, but so Falcon coming in. I think Falcon, was definitely hoping that Green was going to still be there.
Mm-hmm.
I reckon we're going to see a boost through where the Falcon has that obstacle locked. No, just going straight to shooting. Just trying to see which ones are obstructed.
Yeah.
Hoping for obviously trick shot and Kira.
Yep.
Oh,
Not like that.
those guns haven't been firing very well, unfortunately.
No, we've not really seen any kind of large amount of damage go through in one hit from either side. To be honest with you, it's been a lot of chip damage, lots of 1s and 2s here and there.
Yeah, well, there's one more on green there. Let's have a quick look. Which way are you going to go? Yeah, aiming all in on the Falcon. Range 3 from blue.
Oh, hello.
Oh, I think that's ion missiles, actually.
Is it? There was 3 dice, wasn't it?
One damage. I believe that is now the Falcon ioned.
Ooh.
So definitely doing a 1 forward next turn. So that's not too bad, actually. That way Tim could anticipate that. Elusive on Genesis. That's
Not so much.
A shield down. One more, and that would have been half points there. That would have been quite nice reward there for a good little setup from Tim. So let's.
That would have been, what's that? 15, 19 points.
So
Three
add on.
behind.
Well, add on to the 6
Oh,
points
sorry,
that are
yeah,
not
well, yeah,
there. That would have
Would've
put
tipped him over.
just ahead. So Tim needs to keep
Really is
Green
on a
alive.
knife edge.
Yeah, Tim needs to keep Green alive now, and he really needs. If he can get Han down,
Well, I
then
don't even know. Do you go for Han? Do you go for those 5, or do you go for literally 1 point of damage on either Genesis Red or Fen?
I
I
don't
know where
think.
Han's going to be, right?
I
So that's a
don't
big
think
plus
you're gonna
side.
ca-
But
Yeah, I don't think you're going to catch Fen.
about Genesis,
It's tricky. I don't know where Genesis. You know where Han's going to be. Red and blue can side slip and get Han.
Yep.
Orange can do a hard maneuver to get in and get a shot on Han. Green is the only one that won't be able to get a shot in on Han, and it's just going to bump into Genesis.
Yeah, it just needs to be as safe as possible, right? And that's
Yeah. So unless Fen has done something like a 1 hard down to the bottom of the board and then barrel rolls, Green is likely to be okay. So let's see what's Orange doing. Yeah, I like that. I do like that. That's not too bad. It's going to be a range 3 shot on Han. Get that calculate. They've got the target locks out there already. Okay, not the direction I would have anticipated, but again, I like it.
you take it.
And do you go the same or you go the other way around? Yeah, the other way around.
Edging the bets.
I like that. You've definitely got a good net there on Han. I mean, again, you know he's going 1 forward, so
yeah,
that is pretty good. Let's see where Genesis is going. Oh, doubling down on that. Get that barrel roll in. See if you can get.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I like that a lot, actually.
It brings him into range 2, whereas before I would have expected to be range 3 with him.
Yeah. Oh, Genesis. What's that? Running away? I mean, that surprises me, actually. I mean, you don't really know what the other guys are going to do, but I would have been tempted to sort of try and get in behind.
I think maybe a K turn there would have been useful, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Oh.
There we go.
Right. Is Fen wants... Fen needs to barrel roll. Yeah. There we go. Okay, so Fen can now probably take out Green because that's going to be 5 dice. And I'm not sure if it actually gets into... Oh, maybe the Falcon wasn't ionized at that point then.
Oh, in that case, then I definitely would have tried to double down on Genesis.
No damage there going over that score. I genuinely thought the Falcon was ionized at that point. Okay.
Interesting.
It's still going to get at least 2 shots into him. Nothing coming back. So, range 1 into Green. Not range 1 in that forward arc back though. So Concordia Face Off is not live, but you don't need it. Yeah, I would have just spent it.
Yeah.
Actually, saying that, he didn't need to. Only have 1 of 8, so he was guaranteed gone. So,
wow,
that's a big swing there. That's a
big swing.
Big swing.
I think he can do enough. I mean, I don't see him doing enough damage to the Falcon.
No, he's got 2 minutes to get these attacks in, get the dice down. So that's 1.
I think the attacks will come in, but you're not seeing anything else.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be enough time to get dials back down.
Yeah.
Another range 3. I mean, it's a shame. Like, there was I think there's some really good ideas there. I just don't think it quite panned out as well for Tim.
Yeah.
I think Rich was very lucky with Fen.
Yes, definitely not to be half points at least for Fen right now. He's very lucky.
Hardy's
have
down
been,
to 1.
yeah. Tim could have had a little bit more luck as well, and also got half points for Genesis Red, and this could be squeaking in his favour at this point. Those 2 dice rolls gone in his favour.
Oh, it looks like we are going to get one more round in. And also, if Tim had yellow in there as well, that 5th droid.
Yeah, you know what? You forget about that at this point. Yeah, absolutely. Flying that off the board early, that extra couple of shots.
Yeah, that 5th droid I think could have been the tipping point there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean it's a very good point. I mean, you think of how well Tim's done then to fly basically at a handicap and be in basically, in the game, could have won it with 2 dice rolls had gone differently. That's saying obviously that if none of these dice rolls go heavily in his favour.
Yeah. I mean, I reckon. Oh, trying to see if we can still catch. There we go. That's good arc coverage there to try and continue to catch hard. See if we can get that final bit of damage. Because if that final bit of damage goes in, makes it incredibly close. I don't think it's enough to take it.
1 hull.
one hull, yes, but that's only another. What did we say? Harm was 67 points.
Yeah.
So Tim's on. So,
it's not enough.
Ooh.
46.
46. Well, 67 plus 67 plus 12. So it'd be 79. 2 points.
Crazy.
Yeah. I mean, some of the MOV splits we saw in the tournament were crazy. We saw obviously the full 400 points, like complete wipes. But then we also saw, I don't think we had it on the channel, but the lowest MOV split we saw was 3 points difference.
Oh, wow.
So...
spoiler alert then.
Yeah. Apologies. But let's see, where does harm go? I mean, it just goes to show as well, these droids have got a lot of staying power. They've got a lot of health there.
Absolutely.
I mean, when they started, that was 40 points of damage you had to get through to take them. That's a lot to chew through, even with only 1 of 8 dice.
Yeah, that is a lot.
Oh, so 1 attack. Oh, looks like 2 coming through there. Let's have a look. There. Oh. Where was that attack earlier? Oh. Hit triple stress. Hit triple crit. And that's how you respond to that.
Mm-hmm. Crazy.
And the crit there is a hull breach. That would have been nice to have had a lot earlier in the game.
Yeah, right.
So range 3 through a gas cloud there. That's not going to do anything. Are we going for those half points on Genesis? Interesting. So that's 2. And that's safe. So get those extra half points on red there. Ooh. Is that going to be hard down? No. Oh, that was just insulting. So.
That is that.
That is that. Get those cheeky half points at the end there on red. So that's 100 to 46 in Rich's favour. So quite an interesting game. Very different to some of the games we've had recently. Obviously, tournament play normally does have a slightly different aspect to it, but again, still a very enjoyable game there. It's nice to see those HMPs on the table, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's interesting seeing how they do.
Yeah, definitely makes me want to actually get my HMP out and give it a go.
Yeah.
I mean, I did buy it the day of the tournament after seeing the 5 there, and they actually had it in stock. So I was like, yeah, get hold of that. Definitely worth
Get
having
4
a go.
more now, mate.
Maybe I want to get some other. I want to get some other ships first before I start going full in like that. But yeah, I mean, great game there. Andy, thank you very much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that.
Yeah, loved it, mate. Thanks for having me.
No worries. Hopefully, we'll get you back on the channel again soon as well. Guys, again, thank you very much for joining us. That was just round 1 of the ambush at Alderaan. We've got 4 more rounds to bring you. As I mentioned earlier, we do have a Patreon, so if you do want to support us, click the link below. But we're going to leave the video there, guys. So as always, don't forget, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you next time.